veto on any bill. Tulsa County Reserve Deputy Robert Bates is facing manslaughter charges after shooting and killing Eric Harris. The deputy claims he meant to use only his taser. Andre Harris, the victim's brother, says he's happy the deputy is being charged.
I was very pleased that the DA pressed charges against this individual, and I'm hoping to see more justice in this case.
The man wanted in the shooting death at a community college in North Carolina has been arrested. Goldsboro police say 20-year-old Kenneth Stansel III was arrested early this morning in Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm John Trout.
Oh no, my battery's running out.
Mine too. Guess I've only got about 24 hours of standby talk and text.
What? My phone's gonna eat it any minute now.
It's my new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. I tossed this baby into ultra power save mode and boom, it's got another day of life.
Well, can we plug in someplace?
Fine, but let's not stay long. My phone's fast charging restores 50% power in about 30 minutes, and I've got places to be.
Like where?
Joey just texted us. Didn't you see? Oh, yeah.
Visit Samsung.com/GS6 for more information.
If you don't know where you left your wallet, but know your oil drain pan is in your garage, under your workbench, left-hand side by the filter wrenches, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. That's because CarQuest Auto Parts is for guys who really know and care about their car. And now at CarQuest, get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX conventional motor oil and the CarQuest filter for just $22.99. CarQuest is serious auto parts. See participating stores for details.
It's the Onion Radio News. Area neighbors protest treehouse acquisition of M80 technology. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Alarm spread through the Parkland Terrace neighborhood today when word got out that unstable elements within the community had acquired M80 technology. The formerly placid suburb now lives in all-consuming fear that the loud explosive devices may actually be put to use. Parkland Terrace resident William Gray.
The threat of sidewalks littered with G.I. Joe limbs is very real on this street.
Anonymous sources claim the neighborhood arms race began in earnest back in 1998 when the Henderson boys imported advanced Super Soaker technology. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
In AgNet West today, California cotton planting hitting the lowest numbers since the 1920s. More after this.
Grape growers, what are the 3 most important things to control powdery mildew? Location, location, rotation. By location, I mean that powdery mildew can be about everywhere on a grapevine. Leaves, fruit, stems, and hiding in every nook, cranny, and hard-to-reach area. That's where Quintec fungicide from Dow AgroSciences can help. Quintec keeps moving around leaf and berry tissues long after application, forming a protective barrier as it moves in a vapor phase. You get up to 21 days of superior protection, even under high pressure. By rotation, I mean that Quintec is in a class of chemistry all by itself. The quinolines. No other fungicide can say that. And that makes Quintec an excellent rotation partner with fungicides from other classes. Why, if you're not rotating with Quintec, you might not really be rotating at all. To control powdery mildew, remember, location, location, rotation. To learn more about Quintec, contact your pest control advisor. Always read and follow label directions.
California cotton plantings continue to be down this year. This from the California Farm Bureau's Ag Alert. Estimated plantings for cotton this year, only 170,000 acres. That makes it the lowest plantings since the 1920s. This will be the 3rd year in a row that cotton planting has dwindled. First thought may be that the lower numbers are due to the drought, but that's not the only issue cotton growers are facing. President of the California Cotton Growers Association, Roger Isom, says water, pricing, and competitive crops are all working to drive down plantings. That according to the article. Another problem facing farmers, a sudden increase in whitefly population. Whiteflies leave a sticky residue on the cotton, which causes major problems at the gin, stopping production. Researchers continue to look into new means of controlling the pest, and note it seems the populations have become more difficult to manage over the last few years. To read the full Ag Alert article, head over to our website. I'm Sabrina Hill for AgnetWest.com.
CNBC Headline News is brought to you exclusively by West Coast Auto, located at 5180 Holt Boulevard in Montclair, where you'll find the widest selection of the most pristine used automobiles in Southern California.
If you are facing criminal charges, your entire future is at stake. You need to act now to protect your job, your family, and your freedom. Call Wallen & Clarich at 877-4NO-JAIL. Wallen & Clarich has over 30 years of experience in fighting for our clients' rights. With local offices in Riverside and San Bernardino, we are here to help you now. Call 877-4NO-JAIL. or go to wklaw.com. How much is your freedom worth? Call 877-466-5245. The call is free. Will you be?
Are you tired? Are you tired of being tired? Do you hate your job? Do you feel like you're on a hamster wheel and want to jump off into balanced living? Then tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m. for Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. It's a show about hope and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So there's no CNN, constantly negative news, no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words, no Kardashian talk. Instead, you will hear callers ask Dr. Marissa, also known as the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura, for advice about love, hate, money, jobs, sex, and what to do next. So join me every Thursday at 7 for Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa on KCAA AM 1050 NBC News Radio. This is Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah, signing off until then. Peace in and peace out.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Good morning. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. We hope you're having a good Tuesday morning.
I'm having a good Tuesday morning.
You look like Abraham Lincoln.
I am going to look like Abraham. I don't have my beard and hat on yet, but I am going to be Abraham Lincoln
So
today.
why are you going to be Abraham Lincoln?
Well, today is the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's assassination. He was shot only 5 days after the end of the American Civil War. General Lee surrendered at Appomattox, and 5 days later, John Wilkes Booth snuck into the theater, Ford Theater, snuck up behind Abraham Lincoln and shot him in the back of the head. He officially didn't die until the next day, so he was shot this evening, 150 years ago, and then passed tomorrow morning, 150 years ago. But because of that, I want to commemorate Lincoln and talk about him some more with my students. And it's very timely because we are still just finishing up the Civil War. It's part of our U.S. history curriculum. So
that is timely.
Yeah.
That is timely. Well, that's good. And so and Americans should know this. I mean, this was an important time and an important event in American history.
Yeah, and if you didn't see the movie Lincoln a couple years ago, they did a fabulous job of sort of telling the story of the 13th Amendment, how the passage of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, and obviously the movie finished with Lincoln's assassination as well, because that all happened contemporaneously. And so it's very important stories to be told about him. Probably one of our most important presidents. I think Washington and Lincoln are sort of the two cornerstone presidents. If you ask anyone who sort of the top two are.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So before we get really started, like I always do, I want to let people know all the ways you can listen to KCAA AM 1050. Not only this show, but all of our shows. Of course, you can find us at 1050 on the AM dial. You can also find us at kcaaradio.com, where you find links to all of our social media, where you can interact with us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, everything. You can also find our link to Ustream, because we're broadcasting live. It's on our website on Ustream. And on Ustream. You can also listen to us with a TuneIn app. So you're going straight into LA or OC and you want to listen to us the whole way in. We've got a strong signal in the Inland Empire. Starts to get fuzzy along the edges. Listen to us using your TuneIn app on your iPhone, or go to www.kcaaexpress.com for your Apple device. For your Android device. If you want to listen to us on a flip phone or a home phone, you can call to listen at 832-999-1050. That's 832-999-1050. So we have an important guest on the line today. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. We'll be talking with Sean Schneider, and I think he's actually on the line now. He is from the University of La Verne Small Business Development Center, and they're going to be launching a great program in the San Gabriel Valley. So, Sean, welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me.
We're excited to have you on. So tell us about the University of La Verne's Small Business Development Center.
Certainly. The Small Business Development Center program here at the University of La Verne really, in essence, it's a partnership. It's a partnership between both the university and the Small Business Administration with a very simple mission. It's to help businesses either get started or help them grow. And we do it two main ways. First, we work with businesses one-on-one, where we roll up our sleeves and help them get from A to B. And then secondly, we offer the community and small businesses workshops on a variety of topics to help them get started or grow their business.
That's great. Now, you're going to be hosting a seminar later this month. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. One of our seminars that we're doing, we started launching seminars this year because we're fairly new. But the seminar for this month is going to be focused on everyone's favorite social media. And we're going to bring in some of our corporate partners. But Constant Contact has some local authorized experts. In this case, in our region, it's Hut Dogs. They're going to come in and talk to us a little bit about, social media marketing and all the different tools that small businesses can use because, it's changing every day, it feels like. And, in particular, this workshop is going to be focused on how to stand out on Facebook and amongst all the other media that small businesses can use.
That sounds excellent. I mean, there are a lot of people on LinkedIn that just sit there. There are a lot of people who write articles and publish those or put on LinkedIn, put them out on LinkedIn. And there's others still who kind of feel like trolls. They're just, trying to add people and add people and add people and you don't really know what they do. And, and so it's kind of the wild, wild west on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just putting together some of our tips to market the workshop, and definitely one of the first tips is attend a workshop on kind of what's going on and what's new, of course. But,
tip number one, show up.
Know your hidden cause, because whether it's you're trying to get more friends on LinkedIn or Facebook or something along those lines, it takes time, and you really got to sit down and say, hey, do I have enough time to really devote to this so that I'm not just sitting stagnant out there in the world of social media.
Well, I have to admit that I'm kind of stagnant on LinkedIn. I'm very active on other platforms, but LinkedIn, I don't check it very often, and I probably should.
Yeah, one of the fun things I found is how I integrated it with my email. So you could actually see if someone has their LinkedIn on through your email application. So that made it easy for me to follow up with folks and build that following just personally and professionally. The same thing with any small business. It's, if you're following up with people after you meet with them, and it's definitely a long-term strategy.
Wonderful. So when is this social media event?
This event's actually going to be next Thursday, April 23rd, from 9 to 11 here at the University of La Verne. And it's a free event sponsored by Constant Contact, so there's no charge to attend.
Oh, that's great. And how do people RSVP?
People can RSVP with us here at the center at 909-448-1567. Or, I usually promote our website because it's not only a great place to learn about our trainings, but others that are going on around the region, as well as sign up for the free consulting we offer. It's at www.lavernesbdc.org.
Awesome. And is there a cost for this event?
This event is free. Sometimes we do have a small cost of $10, $15, sometimes $20 to cover the cost of the speaker, maybe some of the coffee and danishes we bring in. But no, this event is free.
Awesome. And you might have said that, and forgive me if I didn't hear that. No. So that's awesome. And is there a limited space? Should people get a hold of you here pretty quick?
Yes, there's definitely a limited space, so registration is advised, and that way we can get you the parking instructions as well, because the parking coupon code is 2056 that day to attend, but we can get you into the right parking lot, so to speak.
So how big is University of La Verne? I mean, is it a big campus, a small campus? I know it started out as a small university, but it's really grown.
It's definitely grown, and it's about, I want to say, 8,000 students right now. Here at what we call the main campus. There's a number of satellite campuses in and around Southern California to make it really accessible for folks to go to school. But here at the main campus, it's about 2,000 students, and geography-wise, it's maybe about 4 to 6 city blocks. So it's really a nice feel for the university to be really integrated with the downtown community as well. So there's a lot within the walking distance, and and easy access.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. That's great. So where can people get more information about the University of La Verne in general?
The website for the University of La Verne is laverne.edu.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm.
So I was going to ask, what kind of other business partners do you have? I mean, you mentioned the one, but what other business partners do you have?
Yeah, we work with a lot of different, I'd say, partners in the community that range from everything from the cities in the East San Gabriel Valley and working with our partners. The banks most certainly have an interest in working with small businesses. The county, the elected officials. I mean, the beauty of the program is we really extend ourselves into a lot of different areas. But those are just to name a few.
So you mentioned banks. I'm always wondering, because I know that when people get business started or if they're wanting their business to grow, obviously getting loans is important. Do you do workshops on that kind of thing, or do you actually help to sort of put banks together with people? I mean, do you do that kind of matching? I mean, what do you do in that respect?
Absolutely. And yes to both, I would say. Our next workshop in May, I'm bringing together some of my friends from the banking community that will talk about, financing your small business. So that one's going to be towards the end of May on the 20th. But yes, just to that extent, I mean, access to capital is a really big issue for small businesses at every stage of the game. Whether they're just getting started, they've got their office retail space and they're looking to get organized and grow their business, or they've been around for a number of years. It's a challenge at all stages because really you have to tell your financial love story, I call it, to your banker to really get them to understand the business and why they should invest and how their money is going to help that business get from A to B. And obviously there's a lot of underwriting criteria that goes into that. So I usually say, we kind of help businesses in a variety of ways, but really mainly three. One, if it's sometimes hard just to figure out exactly how much do you need to ask for, as opposed, to going into your bank and saying, how much can I get?
Yeah.
Which is never what a banker wants to hear. They want to hear, I need X dollars for Y purpose, and ultimately this is how you're going to get paid back, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, we do some financial forecasting for folks that, are at the cusp of, trying to determine how much they can afford, what they need for their business, et cetera. Beyond that, it's really understanding the loan programs out there. The Small Business Administration, who we're one of their technical assistance providers through this grant program, they have loan guarantee programs out there that can help businesses qualify for financing through their banks. They offer loan guarantees to the bank. They aren't the lender themselves, but they work with banks to guarantee the loan to the small business to mitigate some of the risk on the bank side. So we help businesses understand some of these other programs that are out there. And then lastly, like you mentioned, maybe you've talked to your bank and they aren't interested in your particular deal. It's okay, who else is out there that would be? We try to be a conduit for businesses to get in touch with the right lender because, different lenders have different appetites and preferences, different industries or sizes of businesses. So we just try to we don't do the lending ourselves, but we just try to help businesses get to the financing they need so they can either buy that truck or buy the building or do what they need to really, in essence, create new jobs in our region.
That's fantastic. I'm actually on your website now, and I'm found that you have a top 10 business tips on your website.
Oh, yeah, that's actually one of the things I was working on right now. We'll be going out tomorrow regarding our social media. We try to not only just do workshops, do consulting, but then also, through our email, blast out tips that might be useful for folks to take advantage of, what's going on. And each month our tips are related to the workshop that we're going to be doing coming up. So it kind of gets people primed.
You got me because I still remember tip number 1, show up for the training.
There you go.
Well, and I see that you have free online training as well.
Yes, that's through some pre-recorded seminars, so folks can, learn at their own on their own time. Because as a small business owner, it's hard to come to a workshop sometimes in the middle of the day. So I get a lot of hits on the website, believe it or not, after 11 p.m.
I
to
bet
3
you do.
a.m.
I bet you do, because that's when people are not working. That's when they finally got a minute and they have to think about building their business.
Yep.
Yeah. So, well, once again, give people your website and so that they know how they can find you.
Sure. It's Laverne, like the city, and SBDC for Small Business Development Center.org.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been very enlightening, and I hope a lot of people attend your seminar.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate being able to be a part of the show and just get the word out.
Awesome. Well, come back and let us know when we're doing another seminar and how things are going.
Oh, wonderful. We'll do.
Awesome. Well, we've been talking to Sean Schneider from the University of Laverne Small Business Development Center. It's been a great conversation,
yes,
and I learned a lot.
Me too.
So I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
It's time for a break here on KCAA AM 1050. We will be right back.
They say there's honor among thieves, but I say that depends on the thieves. Your common street thief, yes, but not those princely CEOs of corporate larceny. The elites in the top suites are pickpockets, swindlers, thugs, and scoundrels, routinely committing mass economic violence against America's working families to further enrich and empower themselves. But now comes a cabal of about 24 corporate chieftains pushing a vicious new campaign of physical violence against workers. The anti-labor bully Walmart is among the leaders, but so are such prestigious chains as Macy's and Nordstrom, along with Lowe's, Kohl's, and Safeway. Their goal is to gut our nation's workers' compensation program, freeing corporate giants to injure or even kill employees in the workplace without having to pay for the lost wages, medical care, or burial of those harmed. Workers' comp insurance is a social contract between injured employees who give up their right to sue their companies for negligence and employers who pay for insurance to cover a basic level of medical benefits and wages for those harmed. Administered by state governments, benefits vary, and they usually fall far short of meeting the full needs of the injured people, but the program has at least provided a measure of help to assuage the suffering of millions. But even that's too much for these avaricious, multi-billion-dollar corporations. Why pay for insuring employees when it's much cheaper just to buy state legislators who are willing to privatize workers' comp? This lets corporations write their own rules of compensation to slash benefits, cut safety costs, and earn thieving CEOs bigger bonuses. This is Jim Hightower saying, yes, this shifty move is a scurrilous crime, but it's a crime that pays richly. And all that money can fill the hole in their souls where their honor used to be.
Hi, everybody. Ray Lucia here. We just saw the biggest jump in mortgage rates in more than 25 years. So now it's more important than ever to lock in your loan with a professional who has a thorough understanding of this wild mortgage market. That pro, Steve Alador, the loan financial planner from Rancho Financial. Steve is one of the top 1% of mortgage originators in the entire country. And for years, Steve has worked with me, my family members and friends, and in most cases will close your loan in 30 days or less. Time is critical if you're ready to buy or refi. No one knows where rates will go next. Learn the advantages of working with a direct lender who can fast-track your loan. Steve Alador can calculate which program is best for you and educate you about all of your options. Call the loan financial planner, Steve Alador, at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070. Or watch Steve's free home loan webinar at loanfinancialplanner.com. That's loanfinancialplanner.com.
We are ambitious. We are proud of our work. We are Kubota. With Kubota's economical MX 4800 and MX 5200 utility ag tractors, we simply get more done. Full of big features, Kubota MX Series tractors are packed with up to 54.7 horsepower Kubota diesel engines, powerful transmission options, and more. Test drive one today during the More Power to You sales event. Fueling your ambition. We are Kubota.
If you are facing criminal charges, your entire future is at stake. You need to act now to protect your job, your family, and your freedom. Call Wallen and Clarich at 877-4-NO-JAIL. Wallen and Clarich has over 30 years of experience in fighting for our clients' rights. With local offices in Riverside and San Bernardino, we are here to help you now. Call 877-4-NO-JAIL. or go to wklaw.com. How much is your freedom worth? Call 877-466-5245. The call is free. Will you be?
KCAA is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. A lot of news stories today.
Yeah, it's like a flood of news stories. There's just so many of them.
Well, I happen to love the game where I used to, don't play it much anymore, the game Candy Crush.
And you don't play anymore. Why?
Because it's expensive. It nickels and dimes you.
That's right. You were an addict, and now you're not.
Now I'm not.
Now you're in recovery.
Now I'm in recovery. Because, there's some puzzles where you swear that the only way you can win is if you buy extra moves.
And that's how they get you.
And that's how they get you. Yeah, so, 1 month I spent way too much on Candy Crush, and then I stopped playing. Well, unfortunately, a man, he ruptured his tendon after weeks of Candy Crush. So excessive smartphone use can, in rare cases, lead to repetitive stress injuries. There's even a phrase for what's happening when a tendon in the thumb constricts from too much texting thumb.
Oh.
But one California man took it to a whole new level. The 29-year-old visited an orthopedic surgeon's office with a torn tendon that was ascribed to overindulging his love of Candy Crush Saga on his phone. This is according to UT San Diego. What does it take to actually rupture one's tendon messing around on a phone? According to reporting this week in the Journal of JAMA, Internal Medicine, that's the Journal of American Medical Association, the doctors say that he played Candy Crush Saga on his smartphone all day for 6 to 8 weeks, and his left hand while relying on his right for other tasks. The doctors report that the man was experiencing chronic left thumb pain and loss of active motion as a result, though one of the doctors involved tells Live Science the man didn't experience pain while playing. The patient ultimately underwent surgery to repair one of his two tendons that extended to his index finger, at which point the rupture of what's called the extensor pulsus longus tendon became clearly visible to the surgeons.
That's just weird.
They went so far as to conclude the potential for video game to reduce pain perception raises clinical and social considerations about excessive use, abuse, and addiction.
It's addiction. This guy is addicted. If he's playing that much every day and playing through the pain, right? I mean, we hear about athletes who play through the pain.
But their point is that he didn't feel the pain. He was so focused on what he was doing that the pain didn't even register to the point of tearing a tendon, which is a really big deal.
Yeah. But I'm sure that he felt it at a certain point that he knew something wasn't right, and he just kept going because he's an addict.
Yeah.
I wonder if he can sue Candy Crush, right, for their addictive game, and get a label put on the game.
I don't know.
This game is addictive.
Well, it's kind of like, I think it's probably something like a gambling addiction, where it's the lights and the sounds and the winning, and it's probably along those lines.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever known any compulsive gamblers, but the people who have to deal with it, for them, it's very real.
Have you seen my collection of lottery tickets?
Uh-oh.
I'm not addicted to gambling, but I am going to be a millionaire someday.
The next time, right? It's so funny. Somebody said to me, "You can't win if you don't play. You can't win if you do play."
That's right. The house always wins. The
house always wins. I have not seen your stash. Maybe I need to.
Yeah, it's a setup, Aaron. It's a setup.
Well, here's another texting nightmare story. A woman was canned after sending the worst text ever to her boss. If you're going to insult your boss, there's no better way to ensure getting fired than making sure that the insult is unequivocal. That's a situation former Dragon Mountain Gold employee Louise Nesbitt found herself in last year when the Aussie woman accidentally sent an unflattering text about her boss, Robert Gardner, to Gardner himself. And this is according to the Sydney Morning Herald. The text meant for her daughter's boyfriend, Robert Guy, instead of Robert Gardner, called him a very unflattering name.
Yes.
That we can't say on the air, but it's describes the male anatomy. And she called him we'll use the word jerk, a complete jerk, which, as you'll see shortly, may have been the verbal nail in her coffin. In the offending text, Nesbitt told the plumber, "We know that he's a complete jerk already, so please try your best not to tell him that, regardless of how you feel the need. So, yeah. As soon as she realized what she had done, she quickly tried to cover it with the following text to Gardner that read, "Rob, please delete without reading. I'm so sorry." Followed by Rob. That is not how I feel. My sense of humor is to exaggerate. That was a joke within our family. She was fired for gross misconduct the next week, after which she filed a wrongful dismissal suit. But the ruling commissioner in her case rejected her appeal last March, noting that her word usage appeared to be quite clear, intentional, and not humorous. To call a person a jerk, that's my euphemism,
yes,
is a derogatory term to describe them as an idiot or fool. Commissioner Danny Clowen wrote in his judgment, "The word complete is used to convey the message that the person is, without exception, an idiot or fool. They are nothing less than a jerk." Yeah.
Beep.
Beep. Maybe it would have been better if she had just said a simple middle finger emoji.
A middle finger emoji. There you go. You know, because emojis are less offensive because they're so damn cute.
They are.
Oh, I got flipped off by an emoji.
Can you imagine what he must have felt like?
Wow.
And, I wonder if the subconscious knew what she was doing.
Yeah, right.
The subconscious saw the name Gardner and not Guy there.
But the thing is, it reminds me of so many sitcoms where they send the not a text message. Most of them were like answering machine messages, and they have to break into the person's house or work office to erase the thing.
Yes.
This strikes me as the same kind of setup. Of course, this poor lady got caught. Caught in her moment.
Oh gosh. Well, now I wonder who's going to hire her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of made the Sydney Morning Herald. And for those of you who don't know, the Sydney Morning Herald is like the New York Times is in the United States. It is the paper of record for Australia.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. Well, I wish that we could follow her and know what happens next. Maybe there'll be an article. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe she's suddenly got a big following on Facebook or something.
Maybe
she's trending.
People are like, "Yeah, I wanted to do that."
She's the new Norma Ray.
There you go. Yeah, that's right. She's Norma Ray.
Standing up for all those abused employees out there.
Well, maybe the guy is a complete jerk. Maybe. I don't know. So it's 6:32 a.m. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
We are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. We'll be right back.
Here's a look at the community calendar. I'm Carlos Gonzalez. The city of San Bernardino invites you to take advantage of Free Dump Day. If you haven't wanted mattresses, appliances, tires, electronics, or shrubs to get rid of, mark the last Saturday of each month on your calendar. You must provide proof of residency with your driver's license or utility bill. No hazardous or construction materials will be accepted. To find out the times and places for Free Dump Day, Google City of San Bernardino calendar. If you're looking for something fun, interesting, and free to do, the City of San Bernardino History and Railroad Museum is open every Saturday from 10 till 3. Schedule a group tour by calling 909-888-3634 and learn some fascinating firsts about San Bernardino. That number again, 909-888-3634. And that's a look at the KCAA Community Calendar. I'm Carlos Gonzalez.
Hey, this is Steve Sanchez, and do you know in 2007, I went off to the doctor for a basic checkup, and he informed me, Steve, you got plaque built up around your heart, and you're going to need stents. I informed him, with no offense, doc, I need a second opinion. I go off to a naturopathic doctor, and he introduces me to something called Zango. It's a juice made of the whole mangosteen fruit. You know, the mangosteen fruit has been used for centuries for healing. So, hey, what do I have to lose? I tried it. 3 months later, I go back to my cardiologist, no plaque, no stents, and I'm proud to say 7.5 years later, I'm stent free. I want to turn you on to Zango because it's the only true 100% mangosteen fruit juice. It's patented. In fact, the Mayo Clinic is paying attention because they're doing an extensive study because they cannot ignore all the testimonials around the world. I want to give you a free sample of the Zango juice today. Simply call 888-309-5656. That's 888-309-5656 for your free mangosteen juice sample today from the company called Zango.
If you are facing criminal charges, your entire future is at stake. You need to act now to protect your job, your family, and your freedom. Call Wallen & Clarich at 877-4NO-JAIL. Wallen & Clarich has over 30 years of experience in fighting for our clients' rights. With local offices in Riverside and San Bernardino, we are here to help you now. Call 877-4NO-JAIL or go to wklaw.com. How much is your freedom worth? Call 877-466-5245. The call is free. Will you be?
Shaquille O'Neal for Icy Hot.
If you've got pain, you need the patch.
The Icy Hot Patch. Powerful, targeted, fast-acting pain relief that stays put without the mess. Icy to dull the pain, hot to relax it away. In a variety of sizes, from back, shoulders, knees, even arthritis. So you're covered whenever and wherever you're hurt. Stop pain right at the source with Icy Hot Patches.
Pain's no match for the Icy Hot Patch.
For temporary topical pain relief, use only as directed.
Do you have a broken window or rock chip on your vehicle that needs repair? Give us a call at HM Auto Glass, 951-858-5190. HM Auto Glass is your locally owned and operated auto glass specialist, offering low cost and high quality auto glass repair and replacement. We also work with all major insurance companies and offer free mobile service. So call us, 951-858-5190. That number again is 951-858-5190.
Listen to KCAA Loma Linda for less confrontation and more information.
Welcome back. I'm Aaron Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink here on Kcaa AM 1050. Sorry, I have a little bit of a cold today. It seems to be kicking my tail a little bit.
A little bit. I just got over that cold.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Hang in there.
Thank you for the gift that keeps on giving. I appreciate it.
Well, you like kissing me, so it's your own darn fault.
Yeah, that's what our listeners want to hear. I love you, baby.
I love you too.
All right. So, many of us work long hours. I mean, everybody I know works long hours. That extra glass of wine you're downing every night after you've put in a 10-hour workday could be because of that 10-hour workday. A review of 61 studies across 14 countries for a total of more than 330,000 subjects. That's a big field.
Yes, it is.
Linked working more than 48 hours a week with risky, quote-unquote, alcohol use. And this is according to the Harvard Business Review. Mariana Virtanen and fellow researchers in the Finnish Institute of Occupational Health found that when subjects worked those longer hours, they were 11% more likely to be heavy drinkers than those who punched in for no more than the typical 40-hour work week. This is according to New Scientist as well. For the purposes of this study, Virtanen defined risky drinking as more than 14 alcoholic drinks per week for women and more than 21 for men, a definition that Sarah Green writes for Harvard Business Review is rather generous. After all, the CDC defines heavy drinking as more than 8 drinks a week for women and 15 drinks if you're a guy. Virtanen warns the study is observational and more studies are needed, but her team did find this when it looked for workers who put in long hours but had normal drinking habits. Over a 6-year period, 12% of them evolved into heavy drinkers. And this is study was published in BMJ. There's so many studies rolled into this. Green says she tried to find a loophole. For instance, is there a difference between working in an office or from home? Does the extra time you spend emailing in the evenings count? And Virtanen answered with her with more questions like, what if you enjoy your work and that's highly rewarding? We hope we get answers to much of those questions in our future studies. I'm just going to throw this out here. If you enjoy your work, you're drinking to celebrate. If you don't enjoy your work, you're drinking to forget. Or just to unwind. Just to unwind. If you work a lot, you drink a lot. I think it makes sense. Really? Yeah, heck yeah. You work a lot. I do. I don't. But for me, it's not alcohol. I'll get the potato chips. Yeah. It's I joke. You don't. It's not for alcohol. Yeah. You're more likely to have a beer after work than I am to have a glass of wine. It's true. But neither of us are really big drinkers at all. Food's my thing. When I looked at the numbers here, and they're like 21 drinks a week for a man. I'm thinking, wow. That's 3 a day. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm lucky if I can, drink a 6-pack in a whole week. It's more like it's going to last me a couple weeks, but right. Yeah. Yeah. Unless there's some a big game on the weekend. Yeah. But yeah, seriously, it's that's a lot. But it tells you what the stress is. The toll is a psychological toll for working those really long hours. And if you think about professions that work a lot, so lawyers, doctors, financial services people, insurance people, people who work in sales where you're having to work off hours, or people who get called in a lot for overtime, and you think about high stress jobs too, where they might work long hours. Police officers, firefighters, those kinds of guys. Dispatchers, yeah. So I'm interested to see how more studies when they kind of know now what to ask.
Yeah.
And before they were just aggregating large different studies that had different questions, and now they think, okay, now they know what to ask, and it'll be interesting to see what this information coming out and what we learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the flip side of this, we're looking at people who are working too many hours and drinking too much. Makes you wonder the flip side. What about people that are unemployed? People who've lost their jobs? Are they more likely to drink as well? Drink heavily?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's the question that pops in my mind, because there's obviously a lot of stress involved with being unemployed and not having resources.
Well, it makes me think too, is it only drinking or is it other addictions as well? I brought up food. I am far more likely to overeat when I'm working a lot of hours. And it's this, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm going to overeat to keep me going. They've actually done studies that the crunch helps people focus. And so like I like popcorn when I'm writing grants, or I like chips when I'm writing grants, none of which I should be eating. And so I'm interested, I'm curious, is it more than just alcohol? Is it also food? Is it also cigarettes? Is it also other things? I mean, I'm not talking hard drugs. I'm talking about things that are legal that people do. So, gambling, maybe they go to a casino after they get off work.
Raises a lot of interesting questions.
Lottery tickets.
Ooh, maybe.
You can't win.
I can't win, but if I win. But if
you're
I win.
You're going to share it, right?
I'm definitely going to. This is a 50-50 joint property state, babe. If I win, you win. We're in together.
That's right. Oh, so you have to share. You don't want to share.
I want to share. I want to share. I want your half too. So that's why we're going to share, because what's yours is mine and what's mine is mine.
Oh, yes. We have that joint checking account, Well, a not so happy news. Did you hear about that Pico Rivera Walmart that they laid off 530 people? They were given 5 hours notice that they were closing down.
Yeah, this story is so shocking, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, so Walmart announced Monday that it's temporarily closing its Pico Rivera Supercenter on Washington Boulevard due to plumbing problems. But city manager Renee Bobadilla said a union official told him that all 530 employees had been laid off. The union official could not be reached for comment late Monday. Walmart spokesman Delia Garcia said that the 223,000 square foot store is one of 5 Walmart locations that will be temporarily closed for similar plumbing problems. The others are in Florida, Texas, and Oklahoma. Now, just right there, that strikes me as odd. This is me editorializing
that
here.
Is the same problem.
The exact same problem in 5 stores in 5 different states, and they're going to close for a long period of time. So James Enriquez, the city public works director, said officials have not been notified of plumbing issues at the store. The company would be required to pull permits before undertaking extensive work. If I were a property owner, I'd want to make sure that my store was closed as little as possible, Enrique said. I would want a permit to be in place the day that I was going to close, but we haven't received anything. Spokeswoman Garcia said the closure would begin at 7 p.m. Monday and could last 6 months or longer, depending on the scope of needed work. And again, this is something that strikes me as really odd. 6 months to do plumbing work?
Yeah, that does strike me as odd. You think they're trying to union bust and they're trying to skirt the law?
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I mean, but as you go further into the story, the intrigue deepens, because later on in the story they talk about the fact that these employees, the store's 530 workers will continue to be paid for the next 60 days, she said, and Walmart will place as many of them as possible at nearby stores. Those who can't get jobs at the other Walmart locations will be eligible for severance pay. Our hope is that they will find transfer opportunities, Garcia said. Walmart has 50,000 openings at any given time, but I couldn't speculate as to how many of those employees will be placed. There are a lot of variables there, but we're meeting with everyone to make sure they understand what the opportunities are, and will assist them in the process to help them with resume writing, interview skills, to make sure that it's a smooth transition. And then they're also going to keep they also mentioned that Walmart's going to keep the store pharmacy open for an additional 14 days. They're also donating all their perishable food to food banks. This tells me
strange.
This tells me they're clearing out the whole store, right? I mean, they're not just closing it for 6 months. They're clearing everything out. They're shifting off all the employees. This seems to me as step one for just shutting the store down. Not that they're planning to reopen. Not that they're doing plumbing work.
Is this their way of is Walmart, have they been hurt financially? I mean, we've always seen Walmart as a juggernaut. Have they been are they having to then close some stores?
I don't know. And, with the recent announcement of their increase in the minimum wage and for their employees and things like that, one was under the impression that they were, doing well and going to share the wealth. And so to see something like this just strikes me as really odd behavior from a giant corporation.
Yes.
I mean, this is a massive corporation, and it doesn't pass the immediate smell test. I think we're going to have to take a wait and see on this. But I feel for the employees, and there's the little video at the top of the article that shows them standing outside, 5 hours notice to lay off 500 employees.
But they did. They're paying them for 2 months.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's 2 months they're getting paid to find a job somewhere else. I mean, I don't think Walmart's done their employees wrong. I really don't. I now that I've read this story, which I read before, but now that I've read this story, but it's strange. It's odd that they're doing this for a plumbing problem. I mean, if they're going to be tearing out the plumbing, it actually does make sense to liquidate some of their inventory and send their inventory to other stores and that sort of thing. It's a great PR move to give their food to the food banks.
Yeah.
But it just seems odd. It just seems odd that they're doing this.
Yeah, and when you think about plumbing issues, I mean, I can't imagine. I don't know. You got a few bathrooms in the Walmart. You've got maybe a little kitchen area that's got some plumbing. I mean, I'm trying to think where do you have plumbing? You have plumbing probably for some sort of sprinkler system for the building.
Yeah. Oh, there's plumbing all through the building. I'm sure for sprinklers.
Yeah. But
and there's sinks and there's in the bathrooms and I'm sure in the receiving areas and things like that. That excuse doesn't pass the smell test to me.
Yeah, for me either. And 6 months just seems inordinately long, to do something like this. And the suddenness of it all. You think that if something like this was going on, I could see sudden if there was like a pipe burst and you had something really obviously happening.
Right.
But if this is some sort of long-term problem that they've got in 5 different stores across the nation, you'd think there would have been some discussion with your employees prior to this to say, hey, this is something that's going on.
Right.
We're working on this issue. This is going to, may impact us this way. Not 5 hours notice and,
So it'll be interesting to see. We'll see if that Pico Rivera Walmart opens back up in 6 months.
Yeah.
So, well, it's time for a break. It's 6:47. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the Brink here on KCAA AM 1050. We'll be right back.
We are ambitious. We are proud of our work. We are Kubota. With Kubota's economical MX 4800 and MX 5200 utility ag tractors, we simply get more done. Full of big features, Kubota MX Series tractors are packed with up to 54.7 horsepower Kubota diesel engines, powerful transmission options, and more. Test drive one today during the More Power to You sales event. Fueling your ambition. We are Kubota.
How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt completely forgiven, both the principal and interest? National Credit Card Relief wants to give you free information that shows you how. Thousands of people have used this program to have their credit card debt forgiven. So call now for free information and consultation. We'll give you the secret to this money-saving program absolutely free. Get eye-opening information that could save you thousands of dollars a year or a month, depending on how much you owe. In fact, the more you owe, the more you can save. All you need is $10,000 or more in credit debt, medical bills, or department store debt to qualify. Call for free debt forgiveness information now at 800-546-2909. That's 800-546-2909. To discover the secret to having your credit card debt forgiven, call 800-546-2909. 800-546-2909. Don't wait, call now. 800-546-2909.
What have I learned so far? Well, I've learned there's no one right path for everyone. I've learned that without my high school diploma, I could only do so much. My options were limited, very limited. I found a free personalized learning program with Learn for Life that has a flexible schedule so I can keep my job while earning my high school diploma. I found a new career with training opportunities that would jumpstart my future. What have I learned so far? I've learned that I could change my life.
Are you 14 to 19 years old and looking for a free high school diploma program with flexible meeting times? This program allows you to keep your job or important family responsibilities while earning your high school diploma. If you've fallen behind on credits or dropped out of school completely, get back on track with free tutoring, a caring faculty, and one-on-one attention. For more information on how to reach your graduation goal, visit learnforlife.org. That's LEARN, the number 4, LIFE.org. Or enroll today by calling 877-360-LEARN. That's 877-360-LEARN.
If you are facing criminal charges, your entire future is at stake. You need to act now to protect your job, your family, and your freedom. Call Wallen and Claridge at 877-4NO-JAIL. Wallen and Claridge has over 30 years of experience in fighting for our clients' rights. With local offices in Riverside and San Bernardino, we are here to help you now. Call 877-4NO-JAIL or go to WKLaw.com. How much is your freedom worth? Call 877-466-5245. The call is free. Will you be?
For more local radio every day, tune in to KCAA Loma Linda.
Welcome back. I'm Erin Brinker.
And I'm Tobin Brinker.
And, I think we've gone this whole show, and I didn't say hi to Carlos because I'm a complete jerk. Hey, Carlos, how you doing?
Oh, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm doing fine. You're all right.
Like, I don't want to be on the air anyway.
It's all right. I'm good.
So Carlos Cool Breeze Gonzalez has been picking our cool music today, and he's always fun to work with. Speaking of music, now you all heard the big brouhaha about Kelly Clarkson.
Yes.
And now there's another brouhaha about Pink. Apparently, Pink went to an event, and she was wearing a pretty black dress. And Pink has never been waifish. She is extremely fit, and so she's always rocking the hard body.
Yep.
And apparently she has gained a little weight in the middle. And I heard this on it's in the news, and so I went to look at her. She looks amazing.
Yeah, the picture that they're using as their fat shaming picture is like, she looks great.
She looks great.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. This is a whole industry has grown up around this attacking women for what they wear, how they look, right?
Yes.
And what's that show that they have where they go down the red carpet? And
the fashion police.
Yeah, fashion police.
Those are people who
right?
make their money making fun of others.
Exactly. Now, if Pink had been African American and the wife of the president, the people who said this would all have lost their jobs.
Right. It's true. Well, and we've talked about that guy from Univision who just happened to say something nasty about the wrong person. Now, mind you, Univision had been paying him forever to be saying nasty things about people. He just happened to say something nasty about the wrong person.
But let's be clear. This is nasty stuff, and it's really not it's not legit. I mean, you look at Pink, and she's gorgeous.
Yes.
She's gorgeous, and the way they're nitpicking and going at her, and I thought her response to this was just so beautiful. She sent out a text responding to it and said, while I admit that the dress didn't photograph as well as it did in my kitchen, I will also admit that I felt pretty. In fact, I feel beautiful. So, my good and concerned peoples, please don't worry about me. I'm not worried about me, and I'm not worried about you either. I'm perfectly fine, perfectly happy, and my healthy, voluptuous, and crazy strong body is having some much-deserved time off. Thank you for the concern. Love, Cheesecake.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful.
Well, but even Kelly Clarkson, who has put on weight, she's happy. She's enjoying her family. And you know what? If she feels like it, she'll lose weight. Yeah. She's still got one of the best voices in pop music.
True.
And, she's phenomenal, and she doesn't care. And frankly, it's none of your business. Yep. I've actually seen videos recently. There was a weathercaster up in Canada. I think she was in Manitoba, but I could be wrong. She is pregnant and was, obviously she's pregnant. She's going to be giving birth here soon.
Yep.
And people were getting on her about looking gross because she's got a big belly and she's pregnant.
Yeah.
Or they'll tell her to wear looser clothing and she had to get on the air, and she and her co-hosts were, her co-anchors were having to say, people, what is your problem? And then you have the guy in Australia who wore the exact same suit every day for a year and nobody noticed.
Yeah.
So like the woman's worth is what she wears is her, and how her body looks is her whole value. So whether or not, and let's be honest, whether or not she turns you on, that becomes the only way in which you judge her.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, there's an interesting thing here, too, because what's happening with Pink was done publicly. These are people who, like I said, are getting paid. It's a whole industry that's developed around this.
Yes.
But the side issue on this is that because of the way the internet works nowadays, people can anonymously or even not anonymously just trash people. And so, you may have a whole bunch of people out there that are just trolling you and saying all kinds of horrible stuff. And is it Jimmy Fallon that's got the people reading the mean tweets?
Oh, no. That's
who's doing the mean tweets?
I'll get it in a second.
Yeah, but there's so much negativity out there that people just feel like this is their thing now, right? I'm going to attack you and say all these horrible things about you, and it's really interesting when you get people reading some of these mean tweets about them, and they're all along this same
Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel. Thank you. It's all along the same line, right? It's the same kind of thing where we've made an industry out of being mean to each other.
Right. And I have to say, celebrities, yes, they seem like there's this desire to bring them down, right? To you owe me something. You're an example, and you have to be an example for everybody. And to either put them on the ridiculous pedestal or bring them back down to earth. They're just people.
Yeah,
they're just people that have chosen a career that puts them in the spotlight. But I love the Outlander series. I love it on Starz. I love the books, and some of the Outlander groups, very, very excited and engaged and just engaged fans, for lack of a better word. People that are their fan base is very, very animated. That's the word that I wanted. And there's some groups where they're basically stalking the stars that are playing in the Starz series, and it's like, people, they're not the main characters of the book. You're not looking at Claire and Jamie. You're looking at two actors who are playing Claire and Jamie.
Yeah.
You don't get to talk about their families. You don't get to stalk them. They're allowed to go to events without you following them around. Stop it. They're people.
Yeah. But some people, they don't have those normal sort of boundaries that you and I would have. And, again, I think that the anonymous element of the internet allows people, because there's distance and it's I'm just posting online.
Well, there's no effect on me. I don't feel so. If I go up to you and I say something mean to you or to the wrong person, I may get, you wouldn't hit me, but I may get decked.
Yep.
I might get, you're going to yell at me back. There's going to be a consequence. But gosh, I get on Twitter and I can talk about Pink or Kelly Clarkson or anybody else.
Yep.
And nothing's going to happen to me.
No, something will happen. You get thousands of followers and all kinds of people will send you money and you'll become, what's that guy, Paris Hilton? Or not Paris Hilton.
Perez Hilton.
Perez Hilton. You become famous for essentially being snotty about people.
Being mean.
Yeah.
Being mean. So Pink, you look beautiful. And Kelly Clarkson, you look beautiful. Enjoy that baby. Enjoy your husband and keep singing, because you've got one of the best voices on the planet, for pop music.
Yes, both those ladies are beautiful.
Now,
beautiful.
On a not so, we're just all about celebrities in this last part of the show. Another not so great celebrity story. Nelly, who was a hip hop star, a state trooper in Tennessee made a routine traffic stop on a bus yesterday morning that landed Nelly in some pretty serious trouble. This is according to TMZ. The bus was the rapper's tour bus, and the trooper smelled pot soon after pulling it over for not having a DOT sticker. That's Department of Transportation. Further inspection yielded 5 rocks that tested positive for meth, the aforementioned marijuana, drug paraphernalia, including 100 plastic baggies that, as CBS puts it, are used for the sale of narcotics, handguns, including a gold-plated 50 caliber Desert Eagle pistol, 45 caliber Taurus pistol, and a 500 Magnum Smith & Wesson. At least one gun was in the possession of a felon, notes CBS, who was also arrested. Nelly, a.k.a. Cornell Haynes, faces felony and misdemeanor charges. The 40-year-old rapper is free on $10,000 bond and is due in court next June. Did his street cred just go up?
His street cred just went up. This is the sad. This is again the sad way that our world works. Right? The official systems that we have, our police officers are doing their job here. They're busting him for committing legitimate crimes, and what happens? He gets more famous and more popular with his followers because, he's so bad. Look at him.
I know.
He got drugs. He got guns. He's a thug.
He's a thug. Part of that thug life. Well, it is 6:59. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm
happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here. I'm Erin Brinker.
I'm Tobin Brinker.
And we are on the brink. I had to figure out who we are. We are on the brink here on KCAA AM 1050. Have a great and productive Tuesday, everybody.
My whole walls follow. You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Congressional confrontation, Somali attack. I'm John Trout. A Senate panel is taking up a bill today that could derail the Iran nuclear negotiations. Secretary of State John Kerry.
We hope Congress will listen carefully, but also give us the space and the time to be able to complete a very difficult task.
White House guest today, Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi will ask President Obama for more help defeating ISIS. Police in Mogadishu, Somalia, say a government office complex is under attack. The attackers stormed the Ministry of Higher Education, and some of the ministry's employees were taken hostage. An Alaska Airlines jet was forced to make an emergency landing after a pilot heard banging. Passenger Jamie Davis.
Two of us thought something was stuck in the wheel because that's kind of the sound of it. And then we started hearing voices underneath us and pounding significantly louder and louder.
Turns out a baggage handler had crawled into a cargo hold before the flight to take a nap. I'm John Trout.
Oh no, my battery's running out.
Mine too. Guess I've only got about 24 hours of standby talk and text.
What? My phone's gonna eat it any minute now.
It's my new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. I tossed this baby into ultra power save mode and boom, it's got another day of life.
Well, can we plug in someplace?
Fine, but let's not stay long. My phone's fast charging restores 50% power in about 30 minutes, and I've got places to be.
Like where?
Joey just texted us. Didn't you see? Oh, yeah.
Visit Samsung.com/GS6 for more information.
If you don't know where you left your wallet, but know your oil drain fan is in your garage, under your workbench, left-hand side by the filter wrenches, then CarQuest Auto Parts is for you. That's because CarQuest Auto Parts is for guys who really know and care about their car. And now at CarQuest, get 5 quarts of Castrol GTX conventional motor oil and the CarQuest filter for just $22.99. CarQuest is serious auto parts. See participating stores for details.
Check us out on Instagram, where you can watch videos, see pictures, and listen to audio of all your favorite KCAA shows. That's right, KCAA 1050 AM is now on Instagram. Go get your account.
From the KCAA Weather Center, I'm Ron Pritchard. For this morning, a high wind watch is in effect until Thursday, as we've got patchy fog, mostly sunny skies, a high near 77 today. Tonight, mostly clear with a low near 52. Wednesday, sunny skies and a high near 80. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low near 53. Thursday,